Hello everybody, Ed0626 here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you want to follow me on all orders of social media and or streaming platforms, please by all means check out the description below. And also check out my buddy Jake, who's in this video with me. Links for him will also be in the description. Without further ado, let's actually quickly talk about this gameplay here. God, if so many things went wrong here in this video. In this gameplay, I should say. Because every time I got close to getting bigger streaks, as you can tell, I'm playing Modern Warfare Remastered, so it's UAV, airstrike, and chopper. Every time I got close to an airstrike, some bullshit would happen, whether I got noob tubed, or I tried to knife a motherfucker and he somehow didn't get knifed and killed me. And then just as I finally got an airstrike, or at least a bigger streak, the game ended and we ended up losing. Spoiler alert, but that's not really the point. But it is a good gameplay. Hope you enjoy that back in the background there. So, the reason I have Modern Warfare Remastered out today is basically because Call of Duty has been rumored, or Activision has been rumored to be deciding to do more Call of Duty Remastered games in the future. And I personally want to give my 2 cents in on the subject because I actually somewhat agree with this. I'll tell you why, because for me, honestly, with especially the news of Sledgehammer reportedly being fired more or less for their current iteration of Call of Duty and Treyarch taking over, I completely understand why it would be better off for Call of Duty for the next year or two to create a remastered game, because I really do think that the cycle was going to get really fucked up this year, especially with Treyarch only having more or less about a year and a half to 2 years at most, if that, of development time. Now, some people will say, "Oh, Call of Duty used to develop games no problem in a year," blah blah blah, and I agree with that as well. But this is also a different time in gaming. As you can tell, I should have knifed that motherfucker. I don't care what anybody says. This is a different time in gaming. It requires a lot more technology, a lot more... I'm not a technical guy when it comes to this sort of thing, but it requires a lot more technology and a lot more effort to make games look as good as they do, make sure everything works correctly, which, for some reason, Call of Duty games that came out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 are actually more complete games at launch than most Call of Duty games that we have received in, since the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out. So maybe that argument's already debunked, but the point I'm trying to make is that if they can't make a game in 3 years, what makes you think they're going to be able to make a game in, 1.5 to 2? It only makes sense for Call of Duty and Activision to go down this direction of more remastered games. I would love to see Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. That should have been a pre-order exclusive, period, for Modern Warfare 2019. If it was, I would have bought the game. I wouldn't have played the game, because I think the Modern Warfare Now, English, the Modern Warfare Now is complete garbage, and everyone knows my thoughts about that. I don't have to go beat a dead horse. Actually, most of the community pretty much hates the game or dislikes the game in some degree. So they already dropped the ball with Modern Warfare 2. I think if, Activision was being smart and, if Treyarch is rumored to be the next installment of Call of Duty with Sledgehammer and Raven backing them up, it only makes sense that if odds are this game's going to be fucking terrible. And if it is fucking terrible, they might as well offer some sort of pre-order incentive for people to even purchase the game, like they did with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. Most people, Infinite Warfare has a cult following. Most people hate the game. And then people only bought the game for Modern Warfare Remastered and kind of ditched it a couple months after release, even though it's still somewhat popular now, or maybe still has a player base more or less. I haven't played the game in quite some time, so I wouldn't know. But I honestly believe that if this is the route that they're going down, it only makes sense that Black Ops 1 10-year anniversary is going to be remastered for its 10-year anniversary. It's the logical answer. Hell, I would much rather Treyarch, remaster Black Ops 1 and release it as its own game and continue to fine-tune whatever game they have in the works, for the new Call of Duty, like the new Call of Duty. And it gives us as players something to play for the year. I'm completely okay with that. That's just me. And if they are going to do that, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, Black Ops 1 to me is my favorite Call of Duty of all time. It is, to me, the best Call of Duty ever made because it's all around a solid game. Campaign was awesome, multiplayer was fantastic, zombies is the best in the series, hands down. No one can tell me otherwise. And I feel like if they fuck with it and to some degree with whatever shit that they've been doing with their games now, it's just going to kill the appeal of what Black Ops 1, or it's going to kill the soul that Black Ops 1 had 10 years ago, and probably still does, if anybody still plays it. But that's just me, guys. I think it's best that Call of Duty goes down this remastered path. Remaster a couple of old favorite games, maybe even spend the next 3 years remastering games, because that's probably what's best, because odds are Infinity Ward can't do good with Modern Warfare to save their life. Yeah, they just recently had an update for they added Rust to the game, blah blah blah. Congratulations, you added a Rust. I don't really give a fuck about the game because I didn't purchase it, so congratulations. You're playing a map that's over 10 years old and has no new concept, They probably just added doors in and all that shit. So that's just me. Just remaster Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, hell, even Black Ops 2, maybe even World at War. I can name a bunch of games that I would like to see remastered if they go down this path, because I would rather play older games at this point that have already been released and just keep them the same. I would much rather enjoy that than any new Call of Duty that's ever been out over the last several years, besides Black Ops 3 and so on. So, and World War 2. That's just me, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject, because it's a subject that I'd say divide the community, because a lot of people want to see a new COD and a lot of people would rather have a remastered and have the development teams work on the game more. Anyway, my time is up. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.